How's it going, everyone? It's been Marky coming back at you once again. And today we got a two for the price of one, price of none story here because I'm going to be covering Star Wars, The Age of Resistance heroes, and Star Wars, The Age of Resistance villains. Let's get into it. Finn, as a janitor on Starkiller Base, gets sent to a tunnel to clear out a blockage. Turns out the blockage is space bats. So Finn, he doesn't want to kill the space bats as he's ordered to do, so he ends up transporting them to the garbage moon where the First Order dumps all their garbage. And that's the story. Next story stars Poe Dameron while he's still part of the New Republic. Prior to him joining the Resistance, and he chases a shuttle into an asteroid field so he can recapture a stolen protocol droid's head that has all this data that's critical to the New Republic or whatever. And he goes up against this other pilot in the asteroid field, and the pilot outwits him and teaches him a few things. And it turns out that the pilot is actually Admiral Holdo, working for the Resistance or whatever, and she's just better than Poe, and there's nothing Poe could do about it. And that's the story. Then we get a story featuring everybody's favorite Rose Tico. We get her origin story on her mining colony planet where she grew up. That's ultimately destroyed by the First Order. So her and her sister, they join the Resistance, and of course her sister dies at the beginning of The Last Jedi. So Leia consoles her, and her sister is her hero. Then we get a story featuring Rey and Chewbacca where they're on their way to go meet Luke Skywalker, in between episodes 7 and 8. And the Falcon just happens to break down, so they go to a planet. And when they get to the planet, Rey discovers that the planet is controlled by slavers, so she overthrows the slavers, and all's right in the galaxy. Not. Then we get a story featuring Han and Chewbacca where they help a Maz Kanata, that alien creature from the cantina or whatever. They help her recover a Sith helmet. We get another story here where Admiral Holdo, or before she's an admiral, I guess, she dyes her hair purple with like a poisonous plant. She's so stunning and brave. And then we get yet another story here where BB-8 leads a droid rebellion. Wow. Moving on to the Star Wars Age of Resistance villains portion, we get a story where Captain Phasma leads a group of soldiers to their deaths strategically as she retreats from the battlefield to save her own life. The great Captain Phasma, everybody. General Hux and Kylo Ren get stranded on some planet due to the shuttle being sabotaged, and then we get a story featuring Snoke, where he takes Kylo Ren to Dagobah and tasks Kylo with going into the dark side cave that Yoda made Luke go into back in Empire Strikes Back. Only Kylo Ren destroys the dark side cave in a temper tantrum. Is it any wonder why nobody takes these characters seriously? Oh, and then Kylo Ren, in his own story, he kills the Zillo Beast from the Clone Wars show. Remember that? The Zillo Beast, everyone? Well, it's back, and Kylo Ren's killing him because he's just so powerful. And there's your 2 volumes, Star Wars Age of Resistance, Heroes and Villains. The heroes got a lot more shine than the villains did. They got more stories, more page count. But overall, all the stories were just fluff, nothing of consequence. And that's kind of the problem with the sequel trilogy era. You can't really get into anything because everything's so secret, right? You can't tell a story with these characters because you never know what Lucasfilm wants to do with them, so they just stall and do nothing. I mean, it doesn't get any safer than Kylo Ren killing a Zillo Beast, right? It shows off how powerful he is in the Force. And yet he never has to mention it in the movies because it's irrelevant to anything that ever happens. Same thing with the story with, like, Finn on the Starkiller base, right? He saves these space bats because he's just a stormtrooper with a heart of gold, right? You know, Admiral Holdo dyeing her hair with the poisonous venom. Ooh, she's a risk taker. You know, just a bunch of nothing here. It's disappointing. You know, you buy these things expecting to get like a broader knowledge, broader worldview or whatever of these characters in this point in time in the galaxy, and you get scammed. They couldn't even be bothered to sort of weave like a through thread through all the stories to tie them all together. It's just random stuff. BB-8 leading a droid rebellion that goes nowhere. You know, Poe Dameron getting outflown in an asteroid field by Admiral Holdo, going nowhere. General Hux and Kylo Ren trapped on a planet, and they start infighting. Whose fault is it? Ultimately going nowhere. Uh, Again, you know, the most interesting character, the character with the most stuff like written about her. She has her own novel, her own comic series, and a couple of like one shots, I guess. But you know, Captain Phasma, right? Again, just always shown to be incompetent every time she's on screen. And it's like we're supposed to take these characters seriously. I think not. All this being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Star Wars Age of Resistance and Star Wars Age of Resistance heroes and villains, whatever, 2 out of 5. There was some good art. There's so many creators tied to these books that I couldn't name everybody. But there is some good art to at least look at, even though the stories are quite honestly trash. 2 out of 5. Until next time, see you there.